Welcome to Toy Business Unboxed, your gateway to the secrets of the toy industry. Here, Jason Shea, a toy entrepreneur and expert in the field.
Every product we develop is really inspired by some of the real life experience that we have with our son.
60% of all toys last year were sold on Amazon, which is incredible.
Be passionate about it because it's a road, it's a journey.
Like when you have an idea that you think is like gonna somewhat like change the world, make things better, I'd say go for it.
We'll guide you through the enchanting world of toy design, marketing, and manufacturing. Now let the unboxing begin.
Welcome back to another episode of Toy Business Unboxed. Today we have Marc, the Guildmaster behind Grand Gamers Guild, and he started doing volunteering in 2005, and he has ever since immersed himself in the board game communities, running events, teams, and also even founding his own convention, and eventually publishing games and many different games for players around the world. And his company's promise is to design games that can bring people together, from one-off puzzle games to strategy games. He have all kind of different games that he and his team have created over the years. So thank you so much and for your time for joining us on the podcast today, Marc.
Thanks for having me. I'm always excited about having a conversation.
Yeah, so I know you have been in the industry for quite a while now. So what got you started way back in 2005? Like, what is your initial inspiration behind getting into the industry?
Sure. So my gaming biography actually begins in my teen years when I was a role play gamer, mostly Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
And then everything kind of came to a halt when I went to college. I didn't do hardly anything for entertainment. I studied and studied hard.
Yeah.
Then after I got out of school, I had an interesting opportunity. I became, in part, a mystery shopper. And there used to be these stores in malls across the U.S. Maybe they were international, but I only had the one that I went to in Michigan, which was a Wizards of the Coast store.
Okay.
And so I would mystery shop them, and I became exposed to all kinds of things. And then in 2005, I attended my first major convention, Origins Game Fair, and just really had my mind blown. I attended as a role play gamer, but ended up, I guess, being quickly converted over to board games. Me to no end. And after that, I just slowly dove in deeper and deeper. As you indicated, I volunteered for the convention itself. I ran events for other publishers for a number of years. I expanded that into running an entire event team, anywhere between 8 and 12 people, and run over 200 events at the show. Then one year I came back from Origins and decided I wanted to found my own convention, which I had been considering for quite some time.
Yeah.
That actually had its first year in 2013. And then a few years later, I moved out of that and into the publishing realm. And now we're almost 10 years later. Next year, 2026, will be our 10th anniversary, so to speak.
Oh, congratulations on the 10th year anniversary. And it sounds like you have done almost every single aspect of the industry so far.
Well, there's a lot I haven't done. There are many talents that I do not have. But I think I've touched on a lot of stuff, at least from a business, consumer-facing perspective.
For sure. And I know not a lot of people have experience running their own event team and even founding your own conferences. That sounds like a lot of work. Like, what are some of the lessons that you learned from doing that work?
I'll tell you, when I was in college, I had sort of a strange opportunity thrust upon me. I was sitting in my dorm room one night, and there was an announcement over the loudspeakers that the hall needed a hall president. And I looked at my roommate and I said, should I do this thing? And he was kind of a dullard and basically said that he didn't care. But I decided to do it. And I'd never done anything like that before. And it really was a transformational experience. They basically said, here's a budget, make fun stuff happen, and do whatever you want to do. And really, through just trial and error, I learned how to manage a project and / put on an event. Everything from a simple movie night on any given floor, all the way up to, I think probably the biggest event I ever did was I actually coordinated between the art school at college and Chicago-based comic book artists. And we did a charity auction based on student art and also on comic book art. And so, again, I think the biggest lessons I learned there was I learned how to project manage. I learned how to run a small event. And then, honestly, when it came time to run events for other companies at shows, that was easy. That's kind of like I reached out to them.
Yeah.
There is a trust building process because they have no idea who I am. But I got one person to buy in, and then I was able to run those events. And then I would say to another, "Hey, I did good by this person, and can I run your stuff too?" And then I put a team together, and you just do the thing, and every year you get a little bit better at doing it.
I see. And I think you also mentioned you also run your own conference before. How was that experience look like? And how many vendor or how many exhibitor do you got for the?
So actually, the first year in 2013 was kind of amazing because I had a business partner, and he still runs Grand Con today. But we didn't really know what we were getting into, other than that we knew we wanted to have a small to medium size Midwest-based convention in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
I see.
We put our hearts and souls into it, and based on other small conventions that had a track history, a track record, that is to say, on the other side of the state, we expected somewhere between 300 and maybe seeing 500 people would be a pipe dream. Well, it turned out we ended up with over 1,200 people.
Oh, whoa.
The space that we rented was not prepared for that.
Not big enough.
We were not prepared for that.
I see.
But it was very clear that whatever we did, we did it well. And we were off and running. And we did that. We did that very successfully for 4 years, or 3 years, 4 years. And then I separated from that business, and it continues to flourish today. And
I see.
Then, honestly, when it came to publishing games, I sort of had a vague idea of what went into it. I knew the skills that I had, and I knew the talents that I didn't have, and who I needed to either hire or contract with, depending on how you look at it. And I cobbled those people together, and I deliberately made a decision that my first project would be a small project, because small projects, small mistakes. Big projects, big mistakes. Look, everyone wants to run $1 million plus project, but I didn't want to have that kind of financial burden on my soul and not do it right. I think, I'm far from perfect, but I think my backers would tell you that I communicate well. I do what I say I'm going to do. And that's all a result of a very gradual process.
So what was your first project, and how did it go?
My first project was Unreal Estate, a small card game that I happened upon with a local designer by the name of Jason Slingerland. And it went really well. I hired Chris Kirkman from Dice Hate Me Games to be my graphic designer, as well as my sort of Kickstarter manager. He had run a number of successful projects and was sort of a couple of years ahead of me in terms of what I wanted to do. And so, it made for a very good experience. I think I'd have to look at it to know for sure, but I want to say we did around 1,200 backers. It was a low price point project. We made about $25,000.
That's pretty good for the first one. That's pretty good.
I was very happy. I think, I got to be honest, I don't know what I would do if I was trying to get into the publishing industry today. I mean, every year it just gets harder and harder. And we're seeing many titans fall. Companies you thought would be around for decades don't exist anymore.
It's definitely getting tricky, especially with the tariff situation this year. It obviously
tariffs, and also I would say there's no small amount of mismanagement. I like to think I'm a responsible individual, but when I see a project make multi-million dollars and then somehow run out of cash, it really causes me to question what went on behind the scenes. But enough said about that.
Yeah. I think there's just a lot of moving pieces to run a game companies. I mean, I also run a toy company myself, so I know all the things that is behind
Right.
the screen, behind the campaign that you need to coordinate and make sure the product actually get into people's hands correctly
Yeah.
without you actually losing money. Because you can
Right.
have $1 million campaign, but if you don't manage the finance in the back end correctly, you can still end up losing money even if you
Yes.
raise $1 million. So yeah, that's the tricky part. So go back to Grain Gamer Guild. How many products do you have now? I know you have developed a lot of product over the years.
Yeah. Somebody asked me that the other day, or I was in a circumstance where I was explaining it, and I want to say, in print and out of print, we have somewhere between 20 and 25 titles.
Oh, whoa,
Um,
okay.
Now, a large bulk of that are my 18 escape room games. I mean, literally, probably greater than half of those. But those are shorter term projects, but they still require the same tender, loving care that a larger game.
I
Uh,
see.
in some ways, even more because they are escape room experiences. And
Mm,
if you don't get it right and you print up these things that go out into the world,
yeah.
you've really messed up. You cannot. There is no patch for this.
Uh,
So
yeah.
you need to make sure that it is 100% correct. And I'm very happy. I have a very good, precise designer who holds himself probably to an even higher standard than I do.
I see. And I know you have a few game with you today. Can you show some of the game that you and your team have designed and talk about how it works and all that?
Yeah, sure. So I have a few different products of all different kinds.
Mhm.
I'll hold up the first one to the camera right in front of my. Whoop! How about I hold it up the correct way?
Yeah.
This is Kokeshi. This
Okay.
is actually a localization done in partnership with Ludofun out of Brazil.
Oh, okay.
They came to us a while back and actually sent us a number of titles. And
Okay.
Kokeshi seemed like the best fit for my company.
Oh,
We
okay.
have it on
Okay.
pre-order right now, and I am hustling to have copies air freighted to Essen so that we can
Oh,
make
okay.
that.
You're attending ASN yourself?
Yep, I'll be attending
Oh,
Essen. I bring a small team with me.
okay.
So, if folks are interested in pre-ordering that, it's
Oh,
available, whether you are attending Essen or not. Uh,
okay. What
you
kind of
can.
game is it? Can you talk about
Oh,
the game
sure,
a
yeah.
little bit more?
So
Yeah.
Kokeshi, trying to get it
Yeah.
on screen here,
Yeah.
is an engine building game. Kokeshi are Japanese wooden dolls,
Yeah.
and you are trying to score happiness points by building the most effective engine. So you're going to place a tile down
Yeah.
that when you move one of your Kokeshi onto it, may activate another tile, which may activate another tile, on and on and
Oh.
on. So you're trying to create a
Hmm.
cascade of effects so
Okay.
that you score points. There's a few different ways to score points, a couple ways to lose points. And yeah, I just, the very first time I played it, I really just fell in love with it. And in a very funny way, apparently I have this penchant for Japanese themed abstract games because
Okay.
when all is said and done, this will be the third one of them that I'm doing.
Oh,
Um,
really? Okay. Okay.
I
Interesting.
published Garinto a number of years ago,
I see.
and I'm going to be reprinting Saikatsu, which
Ah,
was
okay.
published a few
Okay.
years ago.
I see. Interesting.
Anyway, yeah.
I see. I see.
Um,
What
do you
is
have
the
any other
reason
questions
that
about
you like
Saikatsu, Ray?
do you just enjoy the Japanese culture personally? Is that why, or what is some of the
Oh
reasons?
my! Well, first of all, I mean, look, I enjoy cultural exploration in all
Mhm.
its forms.
Yeah.
One of the things that's really important to me, I love to travel. My wife and
Mhm.
I will go just about any place we haven't been.
Yeah.
And when I travel, it's really important to me to do as much research ahead of time so I can
Mhm.
truly appreciate the things that I'm about to experience. If
Mhm.
a country speaks a foreign language, I will spend a year trying to study that language, both for my own functionality, but
Mhm.
also out of respect. I think it's, I hope to travel to Japan one day. It's on the bucket list, and
Oh, you haven't been there yet. Okay, that's
no,
what I
not
was
yet.
going to ask you actually. Okay.
But and I'll read history books, and I'll try to just get as much information in my brain as possible. I
I
just
see.
think it helps me appreciate the journey more. It shows respect for the place I'm going, and it just makes me a better, more well-rounded person when all is said and done.
Got it. Yeah, like I mentioned to you before, I actually used to live in Japan for 5 years. My wife is Japanese. I also speak Japanese myself as well.
Oh wow!
So I have quite a bit of connection with Japan. Used to live there for quite a while.
Yeah,
So,
I'm jealous. I'm relearning Spanish, and I sort of have discovered that having taken it in school for many years, it's still in there. I can do pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm attempting slowly and steadily to learn German.
Oh, wow. Okay. I see.
It's not as natural for me, and I don't know if it's because it's so dramatically different from Spanish or because I'm 30 years older than when I learned Spanish way back when, and your brain changes and doesn't
I
take
see.
things in as well. But at least those both have the advantage of using, the same alphabet. One day when I try to tackle Japanese or Korean or Chinese or Arabic or, anything like that, it will be an extra challenge to learn all of those, symbols that represent an entire
And,
different alphabet, and in some cases, complete words. We'll see what
and
happens.
since you mentioned Germany, and you'll be attending Spell Essen next this upcoming months, actually.
4 weeks.
Or weeks, yes. For those listeners that haven't been to Essen yet, can you kind of explain what a conference is? I know it is one of the biggest one in the world, and because it sounds like you have been there a few times. So
Yeah, I've been attending Essen every year for, probably 6 years, 7 years. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Essen is amazing. It's takes place in a small town. So I mean, Essen's not a small town, but it's not, it's not Berlin. It's not a giant city. It's
Yeah.
it takes place in a hall called the Messe, which is this. I'm terrible spatially. I can't get around anywhere I go. So it's this kind of very strangely shaped building with halls that connect to one another in a way that doesn't really seem logical to me.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's fantastic. One of the best things about Essen is you meet people from all over the world, and especially all over Europe.
Yeah.
We're very fortunate in that most of those folks also speak English, but just engaging all those people who have, such a varied background is just truly incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It is the busiest convention in the sense that you are starting your day an hour earlier. As an exhibitor, you're starting your day an hour earlier than any other convention. I apologize, I misspoke. You're ending your day an hour later. Convention technically runs from 10 to 7, not 10 to 6 as an exhibitor.
Okay.
And every so often, there will be an announcement before the show opens up that says, hey, we've exceeded the maximum legal capacity for people outside the venue. We're opening up now. Exhibitors, get to your booths. So it hasn't happened in a while, but there have been a few days that started at 9:30. And then, of course, as an exhibitor, you're there early and staying late anyway.
I see.
But,
I guess what our listener will be interested in is because a lot of people are used to the show in US, like Origin, Gen Con. Well, not everyone have been to the one in Germany yet. How will you compare the show in Germany versus the one you attend in US? How
I think
are some of the contracts?
Sure. I think the biggest difference is that Essen is really it's a commercial engagement. That is to say, people are there explicitly to buy games. Now, they're there to play games in the sense that they come to your booth and they want to play a game, whether it's a significant portion of the game or a full thing.
Okay.
But whereas Origins and Gen Con and just about every local and regional convention have a heavy emphasis on just playing games,
Okay.
Essen, at least so far, does not make space for that. Games are played in exhibitor booths, and after hours, there is no gaming hall. There is
Really?
no place
Okay.
where people just
That's very
do
different.
events.
Okay.
Now there are many hotels
Yeah.
that are concentrated. They're filled up by people who are attending the show. So if they have a lobby or an eating area, very often that will be taken over by gamers. But I mean, when the bell rings, everyone is either going to go to an industry event or they're going to disperse back to where they came from their hotel.
Interesting. That's very different than the US show that I've been to, because I haven't been to Essen myself yet. So I've been to quite a few of different US one. So thank you so much for sharing that. Any other key differences that you noticed for the one in Germany versus US?
Yeah. You can buy food in the hall and walk around with it. You used to be able to buy beer in the hall and walk around with it.
Oh, okay.
I think that changed.
Too bad. Okay.
I'll also say that, and I'm going to say something that doesn't apply as much as it used to. Essen used to be much more 50-50 men to women. than
Okay.
American conventions. That has changed a lot in the past few
Oh,
years.
what is the ratio
But
now?
But because gaming is so culturally ingrained in Germany
Yeah.
as a family activity, I just
Yeah.
think you got families, whereas American conventions were much more concentrated on just dudes. It's not the case.
Thank you for sharing that. That's an interesting insight. So, okay, got it. So, I want to transition back to your business because I know
Sure.
your business model is a little bit different. You're focusing on partnering with creator. What make you make that decision instead of just coming up with your own design with your own designer?
Oh, mostly because I'm not smart enough to design a good game, and mostly because I
Okay,
do not have the stick-to-itiveness that one needs to be a designer.
I
Um,
see. Okay,
I'm
okay.
not crafty in the
Mhm,
sense that I do not like to put together projects. I am
mhm.
not going to print cards over and over again. I just don't have the soul of that grind that is required to
I
get a
see.
game to the point where it's considerable for publication.
Mhm,
Um, However, my skill set, at least I like to think, does lie in project management.
mhm,
I know how to take things from an idea to a finished product, whether that's creating an event or creating a thing to sell.
mhm. Okay, and like, what has been some of the most surprising or even rewarding moment as a publisher so far?
Well, clearly the most rewarding moment was a couple months ago when Grand Gamers Guild and Burnt Island Games won the Kennerspiel des Jahres for Endeavor Deep Sea. I mean,
Oh, congratulations. Okay.
thank you. I don't think that, I mean, to go in essentially 9 years from an unknown to, the internationally recognized top award in the industry is a journey that any publisher would want to make.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm,
so, I mean, that was literally rewarding.
mhm,
If you want to talk about figuratively rewarding, I mean, I think the best thing is just engaging people. It can
mhm.
be often the most frustrating thing,
I
but
see.
when a genuine connection is made, it is the most rewarding thing. Whether it's
Mhm,
sitting at my own table playing games with people who I've cultivated friendships with,
yeah.
or um, standing across from people in a booth at a convention, watching the light bulb turn on as they
Mhm,
get a game. I've taken them from ignorance to understanding to the
mhm.
point where they want to make a purchase,
Yeah.
or even electronically, just having a really um, a customer service experience that whether it's on Kickstarter or via email,
Mhm,
um, leaves the customer feeling truly valued,
mhm,
as they've been genuinely engaged. I think
mhm.
I guess it comes down to you could put it all under the heading of genuine engagement, whether on all levels.
Okay, I see. And what has been some of your biggest challenge that you also learned from?
Let's see. My biggest challenge has definitely been getting professional people I work with to adhere to a schedule. Um, there are there are
Okay.
people
Okay.
who, for many and varied reasons,
Yeah.
you set out a timeline, and they on the front end say, "Oh, no problem, I got that."
Yeah.
And then on you're 3/4 of the way through the project, and all of a sudden they don't got that so much anymore, um, and things slow down. And I
Okay.
try to be very patient with people. I'll give
Yeah.
you an example. I had a very small project I was working on with a fantastic artist,
Yeah.
and we were waiting for one image to finish the project. And
Oh, wow.
every week I would talk to my graphic designer and I would say,
Yeah.
who's also my art director. And I would say,
Yeah.
have you talked to the artist? Where's it at? How much time do we give them?
Yeah.
And finally, after waiting 2 months for this
Oh,
image,
two
yeah,
months. One
exactly.
image. Okay.
I'm a very
Yeah.
patient man. I
Yeah.
build in a lot of buffer. I
Yeah.
try to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I wrote the person a note and I said, look, you are now materially affecting my project.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
need this image. And finally, they got it to us.
2 months later. Okay.
But I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, if I build a lot of buffer in my life, I build a lot of buffer in the bank account, I build a lot of buffer in the schedule, so I
Mm.
can accommodate the things that go on in people's lives. But it crosses a line where through
Mm.
their in action, they're just being disrespectful to everyone involved with the project. And that can't hold. You can't run a company like that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah, with your current company, how big is your team currently?
Well, I am in terms of employees, I am a team of one.
Oh,
Um,
whoa, really? Okay,
yes,
okay.
I have 4 people with whom I don't know if you want to say they're on retainer or they're on what the word would be, but they're
Contractors?
contractors.
Yeah.
I have a developer, I have a social
Oh,
media manager, I have an art director / graphic designer, and I have a bookkeeper. Those
oh,
are items that I have chosen to um, allocate out to other folks, either because I don't have the time or I don't
yeah.
have the talent
Mhm,
to do those items. And quite frankly, at the end of the day, like I'll use social media as an example.
mm,
I just don't do it well.
mhm,
And part of that is because I dislike social media.
mhm.
Um, and part of that is because there are people who love it. And if they can be a flag waving champion for helping to grow my business through that method, then let them take the reins.
Mhm,
I don't
mhm.
want to do it.
I see, I see. Yeah, that's you accomplish a lot with a very lean team. So yeah.
There are days, Jason, that I look and I am in awe of how much I do. And
Mhm.
then there are other days when I throw up my hands and I wonder, if I'm ever going to get it all done. Yeah, I mean,
I have the same feeling sometimes. Yes. Yeah.
I literally hand pack virtually every order. I
Oh,
answer
you still
every
do that? Okay.
yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
I keep inventory in my basement, and when the orders come in, I got boxes and I got packing materials, and I go and grab it. And I take a lot of joy in physically handling the item that's going to end up in the customer's hands.
Oh, whoa. Okay. Okay. Okay.
It really, I mean, I know it's a conjuring in my own mind, but
Yeah.
it really makes me feel connected to that person. And when I see the person's name and when I see repeat names,
Mhm.
it reinforces what I do.
Okay.
I'm the one that answers every customer service email. I am the one that schedules conventions for my company. I schedule
Yeah.
all the events that we run on behalf of the
Oh,
games I publish.
okay.
I schedule, I schedule the travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everything that I didn't name, I do it. Um,
Mm. Mhm.
I'm really, and part of that, I got to be honest, part of it really is I'm my own worst enemy. In the sense that at some point something slips.
Mhm.
Like for instance, another area where I currently need to improve is I really need to up my localization game in the sense that
Ah,
I have a
okay.
lot of really good titles,
Yeah.
and that is something that I've not given the time and attention it deserves, which
Mhm.
is something I've been turning over in my mind.
I know there's some company that specialize in localization that you might be able to research
Yep,
maybe. Okay.
there are a handful of folks, and I've had some things go well, and I've had
Yeah.
some things not go well. And
Oh,
and
okay. Okay.
if I engage someone, for instance, to do localization, and I
Yeah.
begin to have to ask myself, or I begin to observe, this isn't going so well, and I was doing better when I did it myself. It really makes me say, okay, it's time for a change. So,
Yeah, I think
um,
that's a dilemma as a business owner. Sometimes it's hard. It's almost like it's hard to let go sometimes for
absolutely. And that's why I'm my
that's
own
I
worst
think,
enemy
yeah.
because I do have a hard
Yeah,
time letting go.
yeah, I struggle with that initially before we grow really grow the team. It's like I can do this better, but right now my mindset is if my employee can do 80% of what I can do, I'm happy. It doesn't need to be 100 as long as they are 80% there. That's my expectation because otherwise you will get stuck as a business owner into the weeds.
Yeah.
And you cannot manage a team because right now I have 18 employees. There's no way I can do everything with these right now. I have a
Yeah.
huge team right now. So I just need to let go more. And I think that's something I want to challenge, even for our listener, that you run a small team right now. Sometimes I know it is a very common issue that each one of us all struggle with is letting go and trusting sometimes our employees to do a decent job. It might not be 100% compared to what we can do, but as long as it's 80%, sometimes it's better to let go of that and focusing on some other high level tasks that we can only us can focus on as a business owner. So
Yeah, I realize that, but the other half of the equation, which is probably a little unusual, is I
yeah,
also ask myself, who do I want to be in this industry,
yeah.
and in my life,
Mhm.
and at least currently, I've never wanted to run a big company. I am. I think we culturally, Americans anyway, have a problem in the sense that they feel that something always needs to grow. It always needs to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And if it's not getting, exponentially bigger, if I'm not the venture capitalist that's turning my $1 million into $50 million, now something is wrong.
That's true.
I live a very good life.
Okay.
I manage my own schedule. I travel extensively. I eat great food. I have amazing experiences. I have a family that I surround myself with, and I don't miss things because I'm too busy for my own good. And the things I do within the business bring me joy. And
that's very important. I 100% agree. So.
And I'm also very blessed. I realize that I've gotten here through both a lot of hard work and a lot of luck.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that my happiness would grow if the company got bigger.
Yeah, that's a very good point. You know exactly what you want. It's like a lifestyle business, kind of similar to my business. I created very intentionally so I can work from home. I have a flexible schedule. I can just leave for a week and my team can take care of the rest if necessary. So, but it's about being really intentional on what you want out of the business you are creating, and also enjoy the process at the same time.
Right.
It's not going to be an easy process sometimes.
Right. Now, what I would say is this: if I did have a project go viral, and it was multi-million dollars, that would create a need that would have to be filled. That becomes a scaling issue. And I truly believe I would not be able to handle that and keep things up to the level that my customers, backers, supporters deserve. And so at that point, I think I'd feel comfortable at least contracting with someone to take some duties while I moved through this very large circumstance that has been thrust upon me. So I go back and forth. I mean, would I love greater success? I would. Do I want it to become so much success that I can't handle it myself? I'm actually not sure. But I'm very happy right now. And
it's always a journey. That's the fun part about it. So, looking ahead, what is your plan for the next year, 2 years, 10 years for the business going forward?
Sure. So, it's funny that you asked that at this time because I just had a meeting this morning with one of my designers, Jonathan, who does the holiday hijinks games. And he's been pretty consistently turning those out. And I'm definitely at a point where, okay, let me change how I'm saying this. I never dreamed I would be more than a one project at a time company. And at this point, I'm about an 8 project at a time company.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
And so, and some projects are small and some projects are big, but they're all in different stages. I mean, some are in a holding pattern. Some are under development. Some are getting the art done. Some are on Kickstarter. Some are being readied for sale.
Okay.
And I mean, goodness, if you go to my pre-order page at my website, I have 12 different games I misspeak. I have 11 different games that are premiering at Essen that have never been there before.
That's a lot.
No.
That's a lot. Okay.
I kind of couldn't believe it when we put it together. Yeah. So okay, to answer your actual question, what's next?
So go ahead.
I'm beginning to look at. I mean, right now my games under contract take me about 3 years out. I'm continuing to look at localizations that are a good fit so that I can have another source of product and revenue generation that doesn't rely solely on my team. I mean, that's where a game like Kokeshi comes in that came to us pretty much fully formed and was a really good fit for my line of games. And I routinely get approached by designers, I mean, almost daily, and I'm not, my submissions are closed through at least early 2026.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's pretty much just about keeping that product line rolling, keeping all of the things in the various stages where they're going. We are preparing for our 10th anniversary. I mentioned the first game we did was on real estate. About a year ago, I got pitched a game that was so uncannily like on real estate that I couldn't say no.
Okay.
And so I'm pretty excited that we sort of have this 10th anniversary project coming out. That's going to be a callback to our beginnings.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But other than that, it's really just about keeping the machine moving. We have, I have Endangered Australia on Kickstarter right now. That closes in a couple days. So,
I see.
like I said, it's about, life and business is an engine building game. You start out with one resource and you create a thing, and that hopefully generates two resources, which create more things, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
So
yes. I love
it's
how
just
you
about
put it.
building that engine, but then harkening back to what I said a few minutes ago, not letting that engine run wild. I really want to manage my engine well. And from one project to the next, I see things that I could be doing better. And the landscape changes. The social landscape changes. The political landscape changes. Every time you think you've nailed the process down, some random factor is going to come in. Throw a wrench in.
For sure. So as well, wrapping up today's interview, if you have to share one piece of advice with someone that's just getting started within the toys and game industry, what would that be?
Okay, so I'm going to use the cliched advice, which is everything is going to cost twice as much and take twice as long as what you expect. If I had a time machine and I could go back and tell myself, I would tell myself to save twice as much money to start the company, because I didn't start this company with a loan. I started it through years of cobbling together cash from little tiny jobs.
I see.
The other thing I would say is find a mentor. Someone who's been there before you and done the thing.
On that, yeah.
I just actually had I answered someone on Facebook a couple days ago. Tried to build a bridge with them to a manufacturer.
Yeah.
And they told me today they reached out to the manufacturer, and I said, hey, wherever you are on this journey, if you need any help, just reach out. I try to live by an ethos that if we don't help lift others up, we're not really, we're not really high quality human beings. If we don't try to help those who come after us. And there is, no shortage of people who helped get me where I'm going. People that I took a decade to form relationships with, who I can now call up and say, hey, I have this random situation and I need to bounce it off of you. There are people who came before me. There are people who are my contemporaries, and there are people who started after me who figured out how to do it better. And I'm willing to learn from any of those people. So find your community, your cohort of people who are coming up with you, and mentors who came before you, and build a bridge and get their advice.
Yeah, actually, that's the part I really love about the toys and game industry. It is very everyone I talk to for the show, which I already interviewed over 150 business owners so far. Everyone's very open. They are like open book. They're willing to share what is working for them, not working for them. I feel like we really don't treat each other as competitive. We're all to just create a game, we'll create toys that can really benefit and people can enjoy the end result or the end product that we're producing. And I really love the advice that you're giving on just ask. If you have questions, ask, because the same struggle you are going through right now, for those that are listening, someone else might already came through the similar struggle and they figure out the solution. So you're not alone in this journey, for sure.
Right. Well, see, there are bad actors in every industry, and we certainly have our share. But there's something, when I think about people who game, there's something I come back to, which is that when you engage in a game, what is the cardinal sin of gaming? That would be cheating, right? Because it breaks the game. So we don't have a lot of cheaters in our industry. We have people who want to sit across from a table, who want to build a genuine connection and want to build something with other people. And I think that shows across the gaming table, and I think that shows across the business sphere. There's not a lot of reason to cut each other down, because we're all here just to have a good time. It's one of the benefits of being in an entertainment industry.
That's true. 100%. So for those listeners that will be interested to learn more about you and your business, where is the best place for people to find you online? Sure.
So grandgamersguild.com. If you fill out the contact form there, for whatever reason, you are absolutely talking to me. In my auto reply, my phone number is there. I actually have had people call me up, at like 2, but I have had people call me. And on social media, I am I'm hit or miss. I mean, fairly often I'll be the one answering you, but again, I have a social media manager.
Yeah.
If it's a business matter, he'll pass it on to me and you'll be talking to me directly.
Got it.
But grandgamersguild.com is pretty much the place to go.
Got it. We'll make sure we put that in the show note. And thank you so much for your time today, sharing your experience and your journey within the industry.
Yeah, it's been a ton of fun. I really appreciate the invitation. It was great to meet you and bring this to fruition so quickly.
Yeah, no problem. And also, thank you so much for our listener for tuning in to this episode of Toy Business Unboxed podcast. We hope you have enjoyed today's conversation, find it insightful and also inspiring. If you like what you have heard, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. We really appreciate your support and would love it if you can leave us a review and share the podcast with your friend and colleague. For more resource tips and the latest update within the toys and game industry, visit our website at toy-launch.com. Join the conversation and connect with us on social media using hashtag #ToyBusinessUnboxed. We'd love to hear your feedback and suggestion for future episodes. Until next time, keep innovating, keep creating, keep bringing joy to toys. This is Jason Shea signing off on the Toy Business Unboxed podcast. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much, everyone.